And I'm losing everything, and I'm having all these problems, and everything's falling apart because I'm the problem. I'm the problem.
Welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. I am the Lucid Dream, and today I have a sovereign citizen for you who seems to have forgotten that the Revolutionary War took place. First and foremost, thank you to all of my channel members and subscribers. If you are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would most certainly appreciate it. But before we get into that, I really want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Aura. You want to know what pisses me off about this potential TikTok ban? It's the fact that you or I can go to pretty much any data broker website on the internet now and purchase anyone's data for just a couple of bucks. It's completely legal and it happens all the time, and the government does absolutely nothing to stop it. TikTok is being banned for its data harvesting policies, but those policies are shared with pretty much every single social media platform that we use. Big companies with poor security get hacked all the time. Personal information is sold on the dark web all the time. Spammers, scammers, identity thieves, they have absolutely no problem getting a hold of that information because of that. And they face zero repercussions from it. So if they can ban TikTok, why don't they start by protecting people from these predatory practices? So my interest in this is really from the perspective, if they can do something as extreme as banning TikTok, why can't they do something about the data brokers in the first place? This is just one of the many reasons that I use Aura. You guys know that I have been the victim of identity theft, and I am not going through that again. That is way too much a pain in the ass. Aura keeps me safe online by doing a lot of the hard work for me. They identify the data brokers who sell my information, they submit my opt-out requests, and they are continuously monitoring the dark web, and they alert me if they find any personal information exposed. I recently had some passwords that were possibly breached, and I was able to change those immediately. The Aura app also has the VPN with over 100 virtual locations, and I use it daily. Go do it right now. Go to my link at aura.com/lucidslair and try your 14 days for free. That gives you more than enough time to find out if any of your personal data is exposed, and I think you might be shocked at what you find.
But nobody's probably even going to care about, because nobody cares about anything anymore except for their comfort, and so it's whatever. But you can take it with a grain of salt. You can ignore me. You can do whatever you want to. You can look it up. You can find out the truth, or do nothing like everybody else. But in me exercising all of my rights, I have been prosecuted and persecuted more times trying to exercise my rights in the County of Ashtabula in the city of Conneaut, and within the United States of America, which is actually just the United States. If we just want to say United States, we'll just go there, okay? Because the United States is actually located in the District of Columbia, because the United States is not the United States of America. The United States is the District of Columbia. It's the District of Columbia because it actually belongs to the Crown, which is Britain. And Britain has all their foreign agents in courts, right? So all the courthouses are filled with BAR, which is British Accreditation Registration people, right? They're supposed to have a FARA, which is a Foreign Agent Registration Act or whatever. I might have the last word wrong. I can't remember because it's all just off the top of my head. I don't have it with me to tell you what it is. But all debts are obligations of the United States, not the American citizens. Okay? So any debt that you allegedly have, credit card debt and stuff like that, actually credit cards, that's your credit. We're supposed to have full faith and credit. But nobody tells us any of this stuff. They don't teach us how to do any of the banking stuff. All the banks are committing fraud. All of the judges and lawyers and everybody else is committing treason. You're supposed to have a signed warrant and an affidavit for anyone to seize any of your property, but they don't do that. They will arrest you and throw you in jail, which makes them judge, jury, and executioner without due process for a traffic infraction, like not having tags, right? having expired tags or whatever. That's what they tried to almost arrest me the other day and threatened to throw me in jail for, which it's an infraction of a code regulation, whatever. So a traffic infraction is not a violation of law. It is I guess you could say it's a code regulation and statute ordinance, whatever. And those are all bylaws, which are corporate bylaws, because the United States is a corporation. It is not a country. But nobody cares. Nobody cares that through my third-party debt collector, who is Carrington Mortgage, who allegedly assumed the debt through my original mortgage company, has taken me to state court instead of federal court. So it wasn't even in the right jurisdiction to begin with, because it deals with Truth in Lending Act violations and the Fair Debt Collection Agency Act violations. It deals with securities, which is the promissory note, which nobody gives a shit. Because when I told them that it wasn't even in the right jurisdiction, that they needed to remove it to the federal court, they refused. Then they sent me a pretrial notice with no time, no date, and no signature, no stamp, no clerk, no nothing, not certified mail, nothing. I sent it back to them, told them that they did not fulfill their obligations in due process and that I needed a new date and time and whatever, because I don't know when I'm supposed to be there. They refused, and then found for a third-party debt collection agency, which a third-party debt collection agency isn't even allowed to take you to court in the first place. First off. Secondly, they didn't prove anything because they didn't have anything, because you have to have the wet ink signature note, and they don't have it. So they gave a copy, and that was good enough evidence, even though I proved that they didn't perform any of the things like validating the debt or anything else when I asked them to, when they said that they were the ones who had my banknote, which they don't. And I know they don't. And they know that they don't. And I have proof that they don't. And I sent in the proof. But nobody cares. Nobody follows the law. I'm supposed to go before a judge if you arrest me. First of all, if you're arresting me, you're supposed to arrest me if there is a reasonable articulable suspicion or a single articulable fact of me committing a crime. A crime has to have a corpus delicti, which is a living man or woman who can do an affidavit of claim, right? As an injured party. Otherwise, it's not a crime. There is no crime. There is no crime. Because there's no one. That's a Clearfield doctrine violation. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that a corporation can take you to jail for what? Not following something that they're trying to force you to follow that has nothing to do with you? Based on a legal fiction, fraudulent name, that the government stole your identity at birth and then never bothered to tell you any of the stuff that they're doing, created a fund in your name and all this other stuff, never told anybody anything. That's okay. That the government is committing fraud. The government itself is committing fraud. They're not just committing fraud. They don't follow the law, because the supreme law of the land is the Constitution, but they would rather follow codes, regulations, and ordinances. That's what they want to do. They don't want to follow the law. They won't prove that they even have an oath or a bond. So they ignore the Freedom of Information Act requests and deny it. I have had just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, like everybody not following through or doing any of the stuff they're supposed to be doing. None of the administration process is being followed, or due process is being followed. They started the criminal act by stealing my identity and then turned me into a criminal for the fraud that they committed upon me unknowingly. And I'm the one who has to pay for it. Me. I'm the one who has to pay for it. And I don't get help from anybody. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to hear anything. Everybody just thinks I'm crazy, ranting and raving out here, just making no sense, except for the people who know that I make sense and know what I'm saying. And then I get prosecuted and persecuted instead by the actual government, who is supposed to actually be oathed to uphold the law and to protect me from terrorism, foreign and domestic, when they're foreign agents in the court. And they know that. And they know I know it. And because I know it, and because I've said something, and because I'm standing up for myself, I'm having more problems. But guess what? My family doesn't care. They think that I'm just stupid out here, just running amok, doing dumb stuff, because God forbid I fulfill my Christ-like duty to follow the law, not a legal fiction, and my patriotic duty to hold the government accountable, right? And I'm losing everything, and I'm having all these problems, and everything's falling apart because I'm the problem. I'm the problem.
I'd have to say yes, she is absolutely the problem. You know, I would like to think that that was a moment of self-reflection, but somehow I seriously doubt it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see, and I will catch you on the next one.